This is the story of Stephanie Scott, a beloved teacher, fiancée, and daughter whose life was stolen by a monster who should never have been free. Stephanie Scott was just 26 years old, a passionate English teacher in the small New South Wales Riverina community. She was loved by her students and admired by her colleagues. In just 6 days, she was to marry her high school sweetheart, Aaron Leeson Woolley. The small town was abuzz with excitement, and Stephanie's future seemed full of promise. But fate had other plans. On the Tuesday before her wedding, Stephanie went to the school to finalize preparations for her students while she was away on her honeymoon. It was a gesture of her dedication to her work. Unbeknownst to Stephanie, lurking in the shadows was Vincent Stanford, a man with a dark and violent past. Stanford, who had been employed as a cleaner despite a history of disturbing behavior, attacked Stephanie in an empty classroom. His actions were brutal and premeditated. He kidnapped, violated, and murdered her, later burning her body in a desperate attempt to destroy evidence. The town would soon be plunged into shock and grief. When Stephanie didn't return home, Aaron and her family immediately knew something was wrong. The police launched an extensive search. Hope turned to despair as hours stretched into days. 5 days later, the horrifying truth came to light. Stephanie's body was found burned, discarded like she was nothing. But Stephanie was everything to her loved ones. Vincent Stanford was quickly identified as a suspect. His own mother would later reveal that he had a history of violent tendencies, a detail that had gone unaddressed. Stanford confessed to the crime in disturbing detail, showing no remorse. His actions were calculated and monstrous. Stephanie's death shattered her family and community. Her wedding dress, once a symbol of joy, became a painful reminder of what was lost. The town's sorrow turned to outrage as questions arose about how Stanford had been allowed to work in a school, despite his dangerous past. In October 2016, Vincent Stanford was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. Justice was served, but the pain of losing Stephanie could never be erased. Stephanie Scott was a bright light extinguished too soon. Her story is a tragic reminder of the importance of protecting our communities and ensuring that monsters like Vincent Stanford are kept away from innocent lives.